good morning and welcome to the third out of 10 of my periscopes about making meaningful money. I'm Claire Westwood from myimprovisedlife.com, and I am a coach and a creator and a singer and an artist and an actress and all sorts of other things. Good morning everybody that's joined me, and I work with creative entrepreneurial people, mainly coaches and healers. Thanks for the hearts, keep them coming. Creative people who tend to have, like I do, tons and tons of ideas, and our biggest challenge is actually getting focused, getting into flow and making money from our gifts, because we can be constantly reinventing the wheel. Now today it's a little bit breezier, so my hair's going to be a bit crazier, and also the nursery next door on their playtime, so you might hear some little kids out enjoying themselves and having fun, which I think is a beautiful backdrop to my periscope this morning, which is about how to break through fear and make meaningful money. Because as you will know, I'm sure, when you're working through your own inspirational coaching or healing business, that we feel fear a lot. Fear will come up. And one of my clients in my Creative Clarity Club this week described me as fearless because of what I've been through. Because I share quite openly my story of loss of my job, my car, my driving license, story of my addiction, story of my recovery. Good morning, show me the hearts. So this is just a little warm-up intro. If you've just joined us, don't worry, you haven't really missed much. I'm just introducing myself, and having gone through, running a previous business, burning myself out by spending too much time online, getting some of my creativity in it, but really getting caught in the left brain online internet marketing model, which has massive value because, as in this periscope, which I will then share on Facebook and YouTube, and it will get me out and about to people that I couldn't meet otherwise. Sitting at home at a desk online just killed me, my soul, and just really wasn't who I am and how I want to show up. So today we're going to talk a little bit about breaking through the fear and making meaningful money. So I'm here outside the library, logging into their Wi-Fi, sitting under a tree, because this is actually how I want to run my business. I want to be able to run my business more or less from my pocket. So this is my smartphone here where I'm talking to you, and it's so free and easy. And the technology has moved on since I ran my previous business to allow me to do this. So I can actually talk to you while sitting outside, listening to the kids at the nursery and feeling part of the world, instead of being cooped up in an office, which I don't actually have. I just have a table, which is my creation space. So when I'm drawing my colourful pictures, like at the beginning of this periscope, and I'll share another one in a minute, that's where I do it. So let's talk a little bit about fear. So if you would like to, there's a little comments box down at the bottom here. If you want to just type in, like, what sort of fears do you have around showing up in your business? What sort of fears are coming up for you now? Because I've got a list of the common ones that I have and the ones that I see in my clients. But if you'd like to share any of the fears that you have right now in running your business or showing up in your business, if you'd like to type them into the box and let me know, because I'll hopefully be able to cover them if you tell me what your fears are. Anybody? Or I'll just go through my list. Okay, feel free to join in at any point and type in your fears if you wish to. So the most common ones that I've seen in myself as well, being too much. Okay, what do you mean by that? Do you mean yourself personally, how you come over, etc.? Just say that in a few more words, because I think I get what you mean, but I don't want to misinterpret that. Okay, so I'm just, while you think about that, I'm just going to get cracking for everybody else on the call or watching this video on repeat around the world. Being too insistent. Okay, so is that kind of in your marketing? Just give me a little bit, just try and write a few more words. There's space in those boxes to write a few more words, so just be a little bit more clear what you mean. Okay, so let's start talking about fears. Oh my goodness. One, I think the main two that I've seen in my coaching group are fear of showing up as you in whatever way that is. You might think that you are too quiet, that you're too loud, that you're too creative, that you're too insistent, that you're, or that you're not enough. Yesterday we talked a little bit about excuses. I'm too old, I'm too young, I need to lose 10 pounds. Like, I am 49 years old, I'm never going to be 24. I do not have long blonde hair. I do not look like some of the other people who are out in the coaching world. And that's okay, because I'm never going to. And if I sit there worrying about it, I'm never going to get out on video. So this is who I am, this is how I look like, this is what I sound like. And the clients that want to work with me like that, especially women and men who have a similar creative spirit, a similar age, a similar way of showing up in the world. You will attract people whoever you are. So fears, let me go through the little list I made this morning. So one of the main fears I see in my group is fear of showing up as yourself, or fear of showing up at all. But actually, when you're running your business and doing your thing, you have to show up as you, because that's what people want. The second thing is charging good money for what you do, because you will worry about what will people think, am I worth it, is my transformation really that good, etc. So those are other fears that you can deal with. So let me have a look at some of the other ones that I made a note of. So if you ask people, what are your biggest fears, it almost like becomes almost a checklist. Oh, I'm fear of failure. It's my personal interfering with my business image. Okay, so yes, in the world of social media, there is a lot of crossover between personal and business. That's what social media is, and that's how it works. And we do have to be careful not to irritate our friends and family by talking about business too much and keeping things relatively separate. But I believe, and I've seen this in a lot of my mentors actually, that marketing is getting more relaxed, because if somebody hires me as a coach, or they come and do a VIP day with me, or they come to one of my workshops, they're going to meet me, and I'm going to pretty much look like this, and I'm probably going to wear this jacket, and I will sound like this. So it can break down a lot of those barriers, and I actually like that informality myself, in being able to show up as me and talk freely like this into my phone and reach people as me. And I don't have to be glossy, I don't have to put high heels on, heaven forbid, I never wear them anyway. I don't have to put on this kind of fake front and hire a studio and do all that kind of stuff. So fear of failure is one that comes up a lot, and I think the fears list, or I'm what are you scared of? I'm scared of public speaking, or I'm scared of failure, or I'm scared of success, or I'm scared, they almost like become a checklist. So what I'd like you to do is have a think about, what fears you've got, and then explore them. I worked with a client a little while ago, and I said, tell me about your fears. And it was almost like a kind of real intellectual, superficial checklist. I said, I'm not really interested in a checklist. I want to know what you are deeply afraid of, because you have to go in deep to shift this stuff. So I went to an intensive day with my mentor a few weeks ago, and I just said, I know that I'm upper limiting myself somehow. I can almost like feel an internal block around my diaphragm sort of area. I don't really know. And she said, what do you think it's about? And I came out with all this intellectual, I think it's this, or somebody said this when I was a kid, or this happened to me. And she said, I don't think that's what it is, because that's me just trying to intellectually keep it on a superficial level. And she said, where do you feel it? So I explained, it's real deep down near my diaphragm. And she encouraged me, and I did feel safe in that environment, to go in there, to really go in deep. And what happened was I accessed this huge pain that was just stuck there, and I cried literally for 10 minutes, sobbed in this VIP day. And then she asked if I could vocalise or verbalise, what it was that I'd been feeling. And so I explained it. And she guided everyone in this group, 4 or 5 of us that were in this intensive, through a beautiful meditation. And after that, it was like, oh my goodness, that thing that I had has shifted. And the girls that were sat opposite me, we were sat on these beautiful comfy sofas, so I was cross-legged and in a really comfortable, natural position for myself. They just said, like, when I opened my eyes after that process, that I looked different and I'd shifted some stuff. So superficial fears, keeping them intellectual, having a checklist of this is what I'm afraid of, won't shift them. So part of what I'm going to talk about, break through the fears, is acknowledging your fears and shifting it in whatever way that is. It might be working with somebody that can do NLP, it might be tapping, it might be hypnosis, it might be journaling, it might be working with somebody really skilled like I did that can shift some of this stuff out. So that's one of my things is, really face it and process it, instead of keeping it superficial. And we're also scared of, what will people think, are my charges too high or are they not high enough, etc. So I'm going to flip my camera around and show you a little checklist that I drew earlier on of how to work through them. And let's just get this to work by tapping there. There we go. Okay, so this is my little checklist on how to break through it. So at the top you've got the fear. Eek! Oh no! And what you have to do, you have to feel that fear, like deeply feel it. Like I say, don't just go, oh, I'm scared of public speaking. Feel that fear deeply. Where is it in your body? How does it feel? It's going to be pretty deep down. Feel it. Process it in whatever way you need to, whether that's journaling or NLP or hypnosis or anything like that. The next thing, and this is something that I've done that's worked really brilliantly for me, is then I go, okay, so I need to learn something else in order to actually do what it is I'm scared of. So for example, I had the message a little while ago when I was doing some sort of journaling about my marketing that Periscope will be a really good thing for me because I like to teach and I'm not scared of showing up. And so, let me try and get this back to me or not, I don't know. Right, hang on a minute. Okay, there we go. Right, so you've seen the sheet. So I do like talking to the camera now, which surprises me as well, because before I did my Periscopes, I didn't really like being live on camera, but I'm kind of getting used to it. So, and this is part of the process. So learn how to do it. So let's talk about my being on Periscope. I started seeing people talking about Periscope, and I thought I'm a bit scared of Periscope, even though I've done a lot of video. So I know that for me, my process is, if I want to have a go at something, I learn how to do it, right? I learn how to do it from somebody that can teach me. So I did a Periscope challenge with Veronica Pullen and a group of people who were all newbies at Periscope. None of us even knew how to download the app, right? That's how much of a beginner we all were. And we did this group and we started off, so every day we got a bit of something to do. We started off doing our Periscopes and sharing our knowledge with the world, and it was great. So lack of knowledge can be something that holds you back. So I don't have that excuse anymore because I know how to use Periscope, right? So it's learning is one of the pros. So after I've processed the fear, it's like, okay, I need to learn something. So learn about whatever it is that you're scared of. Go and work with a mentor or a coach or a teacher. Go to a workshop, learn it online, buy a book. It doesn't matter. Thank you for the hearts. Learn what it is that's blocking you. Work with somebody that has done it already. Don't make it hard for yourself. One of the other things that I did in my life was I've done quite a lot of performance. Thank you very much. Quite a lot of performance, and I wanted to do stand-up. Right, I love watching stand-up comedy, and I sat in a comedy club once, really smug, and when I could be funnier than this. And a little voice went, but could you, Claire? Like, I could do this. Well, Claire, this person is on stage in a comedy club and you are not. Right, and I had to really own that. Right, I think I'm so great at comedy, but I've never even tried it. And then I went, right, there's only one thing for it. So I signed up for a stand-up comedy workshop. Learn what I need to do. Went with a whole bunch of newbies. And on the back of that, I wrote my 5-minute thing, and I did stand up in 2 London comedy clubs. Oh my God, what a buzz. It was amazing. Now, my fear of being on stage pretty much evaporated after I'd done that. But it was terrifying being in front of all those people doing my comedy. But once I've done it, and this is another thing about fear, once you've done something that scares you, your courage level increases. It's like a courageometer, right? And it increases. So I'd done my stand-up, A little bit after that, I had an interview at work for a promotion. Was I nervous? Not one bit, because I was like, I've done stand-up in front of 200 people in a club in London, like this is nothing. Being interviewed by my managers, like seriously. So learning it, and then as soon as you've learned what to do, do it. Do it, do it, do it, implement it. You learn how to speak at a workshop, and you book something to speak. You learn how to do Periscope, you start doing Periscopes. You learn how to do stand-up, you get out into a comedy club and do it. The sooner you implement your knowledge, the better. And a really amazing story that's just come into my head about, you know, living your purpose and finding your thing. I loved the process of learning stand-up and getting up and doing it. And when I was stood in that comedy club doing my 5 minutes in front of 200 people, the voice in my head went, I wish I was telling them something really important and being funny. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where my inspirational, motivational speaking career started. Because I went, I do really love being in front of people, but I wish I was telling them something important. Now, the other message to come from that workshop is, I was in that workshop with a guy who was really into comedy, went off, started doing the comedy clubs, started doing his thing, promoted his own comedy club, went up the ladder. His name is Nick Helm. Right, you can Google him. He's had a series on BBC called Uncle, which is brilliant. Thanks for the hearts, you might know Nick. So we went into the same workshop. We both did stand-up. He now is a comedian on television, live. He's got a following. He does Edinburgh. You can see him listed in the comedy things. And I stood on stage and went, I wish I was saying something important, right? If I'd never done that stand-up comedy workshop, that message to myself might have taken longer, and the world would never have seen Nick Helm. So, do stuff you're scared of. So, working through your fears, ladies and gentlemen, identify what they are. Really own it emotionally. Don't just write a checklist of I'm scared of this. Really own it. Work through that fear. What's the worst thing that could happen in that, you know, fear of debt, fear of not making enough money, fear of somebody, you know, taking the mickey out of you when you're doing a Periscope. You know, really go there and feel it. Process those feelings in whatever way works for you. Then you want to learn what you need to learn. There's a gap somewhere, and you need to do what you've learned as soon as humanly possible. And then it becomes easier, and then you do it more, and then it becomes easier, and then you do it more. The other thing that can work really well, which I didn't add into my colourful list, is be accountable. Declare it to people. So at the weekend, I said, I'm going to do a Periscope every day, Monday to Friday for the next 2 weeks. And guess what? I have to show up and do them, however nervous I am. And day one, I didn't want to do it at all. Yesterday, I'd learnt that on day one, I didn't feel very prepared. I didn't have anything written down, really. I was all flustered. So I thought, how can I do this better? Yesterday was better. Today, I'm really enjoying myself. I feel like I'm in flow. I'm getting some hearts. You know, it's so much easier than the first day. So whatever you're putting off, just get on and do it, because it becomes a lot easier. And of course, if you want to work with a coach like myself, I'll tell you how you do it. On Facebook, I've got a group, Claire's Creative Clarity Club, which is free to join. I share video, I share tips, I help people get focused and into action. We share colour, we share songs. It's really energising and crazy and colourful and fun. But the intention is to build the business and make meaningful money. So join Claire's Creative Clarity Club. If you want to talk to me about a Make Meaningful Money call, to work with me on a one-to-one, you can message me on Facebook, Claire Westwood, or you can email me, claire@myimprovisedlife.com. And I have a manifestation program starting on September the 21st, so it's a couple of weeks, which is 21 high energy days of me getting you focused, getting you into action, using spiritual and energetic and cosmic ways of attracting money, plus the solid business marketing, doing it as you. So the phrase that I use, which is a little poem, which I think is going to be another song, is make money being you, doing what you love to do. So that's what I teach. Make money being you, because I am me. This is me on this Periscope. This is what I know. This is what I wear. This is how I speak. This is how I show up. So if you want to get in touch, message me on Facebook, email claire@myimprovisedlife.com. Let's have a chat, and thank you for watching. It's been great. And tomorrow, Periscope will be at 12 o'clock midday UK time, and I'll see you then. Thanks for the hearts. See you soon. Bye bye.